There's one thing I've learned as a licensed pesticide applicator for the last decade, is that the thing that's the most dangerous is not a pesticide at all. You can actually do more damage to your turf with fertilizer than you can with any of the pesticides or herbicides that we use to control weeds and insects and fungus problems in yards. And guys, that's why it's so important to understand how to calculate your coverage and how to calibrate your equipment so that you're putting out the accurate amount of nitrogen on your turf. So let's learn how to calculate coverage. I wrote up this little page, and hopefully it'll help you guys to understand as I talk. But essentially, most fertilizer comes in 50-pound bags. When you get that 50-pound bag, you're going to have three main numbers on there: 10, 10, 10, 5, 5, 5, 15, 0, 0, 40, 0, 0. I use a 28, 3, 10. And I have a 3% iron and a 50% U-flex, which is basically, well, it's actually, I think it's 14% U-flex, but 50% total slow release formula. And basically what you're going to do, what those numbers mean, that's a percentage of the weight of the bag. So 28% of that 50-pound bag is nitrogen, 3% of that 50-pound bag is phosphates, and 10% of that 50-pound bag is potassium. Well, if you're trying to calculate how many pounds that is in each bag, you would just take that percentage and make it into a decimal. So 50 times 0.28 equals 14 pounds. And then you can see I did the phosphates, I did the potassium. I went ahead and even did the iron. You got 1.5 pounds of phosphates in there per 50-pound bag. You've got 5 pounds of potassium in there, and you've got 1.5 pounds of iron in each 50-pound bag. So in that 50-pound bag, you've actually got 22 pounds of actual active ingredient, or the nutrients that you're trying to put out into the yard. That means there's 28 pounds of inert material or additives in that bag that's just carrier that is essentially allowing your product to work. So when you want to calculate your coverage, what you've got to do is you need to figure out how much nitrogen you have. Hopefully you're choosing a properly balanced fertilizer so that once you do put out your nitrogen at the proper rates, you're getting everything you need. But essentially, at the generally recommended 1 pound per 1,000 square feet of nitrogen, which is what most people would recommend on a tall fescue, a turf-type tall fescue grass or lawn, they're going to want 1 pound per 1,000 square feet of nitrogen. This particular bag at 50 pounds has 14 pounds of nitrogen, so it's going to be able to cover 14,000 square feet per bag. And basically, guys, when you're doing coverage calculations, you can ignore all the rest of the stuff. Just focus on the nitrogen, because that's what's going to be causing your issues. I've created this little handout for my guys to help them put it out correctly. You guys can take this and